The morning light spills through the window. A soft breeze dances across the curtains. Margaret stands by her kitchen counter, tea steaming in her hands. She smiles, but there's a quiet ache in her knees. Every step feels a little heavier than before. She used to walk her dog every morning without thinking. Now, even a few stairs feel like a small mountain. She wonders when her body started whispering, "Slow down." But today feels different. She decided to try something new. Her granddaughter showed her a simple move online. Knee-to-toe bends, it's called. It looks easy enough, just bending and rising with the breath. Still, she hesitates. What if it hurts? What if she can't do it? But then she remembers her roses outside. How they bloom again, season after season, no matter what. She takes a deep breath. She places one hand on the counter, and she begins to move. Slowly, gently, one bend at a time. The stiffness starts to soften. The air feels lighter. For the first time in weeks, she feels something shift. Not just in her knees, but in her spirit. A quiet reminder, movement is hope. The garden is quiet this morning. Dew still clings to the edges of the grass. Margaret steps outside, careful and slow. Her knees ache a little as she moves, but she doesn't mind. The sunlight feels warm on her skin, and the air smells like jasmine. She reaches for the watering can resting beside the fence. The metal is cool, smooth, familiar in her hand. She has done this every morning for years. But lately, the small things have become a little harder. Kneeling down to trim a flower. Bending to pick up a fallen pot. Even standing up from her garden stool feels like an effort. Her body reminds her of every passing year. Still, this garden is her joy, her peaceful place. She can't imagine giving it up. She pauses by the roses, red and full in the light. Her knees protest as she bends closer to breathe them in. The scent brings her back to memories of her late husband. He planted these roses for her on their 30th anniversary. Every bloom carries his warmth, his laughter, his quiet care. Margaret smiles softly and whispers, "You'd laugh if you saw me now." Her voice trembles, but her eyes stay bright. Yesterday, her granddaughter Emma visited. Emma is studying physical therapy and always brings new ideas. She noticed how Margaret rubbed her knees as she walked. "Gran, I have a stretch you might like," she said. Margaret chuckled, thinking of the yoga videos she never finished. But Emma showed her something simple, something gentle. A movement called the knee-to-toe bend. No mats, no fancy poses. Just standing tall, bending the knees slowly, feeling the toes press the ground. Emma guided her through it. "Breathe in when you bend," she said softly. "Breathe out when you rise." At first it felt strange, awkward even. Her knees creaked like old hinges. But Emma smiled, patient and kind. "It's okay, Gran. Just listen to your body." They practiced together for 5 minutes. Margaret's balance wobbled at first. But with each slow bend, something began to change. Her joints loosened a little. Her breath steadied. Her mind felt calmer, more grounded. Later that night, she realized her legs felt lighter than usual. It wasn't a miracle, but it was something. A spark of hope. This morning, standing in her garden, she remembers Emma's words. Every small move keeps your body young. She decides to try it again, right there among the roses. One hand on the fence for balance. A slow bend of the knees. A stretch down to the toes. Her body wavers but doesn't fall. The air feels gentle, encouraging. She straightens again and smiles. The stiffness isn't gone, but it feels softer. Her body remembers. She breathes in the scent of the garden. She feels the quiet rhythm of movement returning. It's simple, almost humble, but it means everything. Because in that moment, she realizes something powerful. She's not losing her strength. She's rediscovering it. One bend, one breath, one morning at a time. Later that afternoon, Margaret sits by her living room window. The light is soft, spilling gold across the floor. She watches the leaves outside sway in the gentle breeze. Her knees feel warm, pleasantly awake from the morning stretch. She's curious now, wondering what this movement truly does. She takes out her old tablet and searches knee-to-toe bend. Dozens of videos appear, each showing calm, steady movements. People of all ages bend and rise, breathing with care. Their faces are relaxed, peaceful, focused. Margaret leans closer, studying the rhythm. It's not fast or flashy, just smooth and natural. She likes that. It feels doable. She plays one video with a calm instructor speaking softly. Start with your feet hip-width apart, the voice says. Keep your heels on the ground. Let your knees bend slowly. Margaret follows along, her hands resting lightly on the table. Her body responds cautiously at first, uncertain. But as she bends, she feels the stretch move through her ankles. It rises gently through her calves, into her knees. It's like waking up an old part of herself. She holds for a breath, then straightens again. The instructor continues. Feel the connection from your knees to your toes. That phrase stays with her, knees to toes. It's simple but meaningful. A reminder that every part of the body works together. Not separate but connected. She realizes how long she's ignored that connection. Years of sitting, driving, hurrying, forgetting to move with awareness. Maybe that's why her body feels stiff, out of rhythm. Now, each slow bend feels like an act of listening. Listening to her own body's quiet language. She notices small details she'd never felt before. The gentle shift of weight in her heels. The way her thighs support her movement. The faint warmth blooming in her knees. It's not pain, it's presence. Margaret smiles at the thought. She pauses the video and just stands still for a moment. The room is silent, except for the sound of her breath. She closes her eyes and moves again, without watching the screen. This time she does it by feel. Down slow, steady. Up gentle and strong. She finds a rhythm that feels right. Her breath and body begin to move as one. It's almost meditative. The simple act of bending becomes something deeper. It's not just a stretch, it's a small practice of care, of trust, of patience. As she finishes, she feels taller somehow. Her spine straight, her chest open, her steps lighter. She realizes this isn't just about her knees. It's about freedom. Freedom to move, to reach, to live without fear of pain. She sits again, smiling softly. Her hands rest on her knees, warm and calm. And for the first time in a long while, she whispers to herself, I can do this. The words feel small, but they carry strength. Because deep down, she knows it's true. The next morning, Margaret wakes with the sound of rain against the window. Soft drops tap the glass, steady and calm. She stretches her arms above her head and feels a gentle pull in her legs. It's not painful, just a reminder that her body is waking up. She sits on the edge of the bed, feet flat on the floor. The wood feels cool beneath her toes. She takes a deep breath and thinks of yesterday's movement. Those slow bends, the quiet focus, the sense of release. Something about it stayed with her through the night. She opens her notebook and writes a few words, move every day. It feels like a promise to herself. She remembers Emma explaining why the movement matters. When you move your knees and ankles, Emma had said, you help your joints stay alive. Alive, Margaret laughed. That's a funny way to put it. Emma smiled. But it's true, Gran. Joints need movement to stay healthy. Like oiling a door hinge. Exactly, Emma said. When you bend slowly, you help the fluid in your joints spread evenly. That fluid keeps things moving smoothly. Margaret had nodded, thinking of her garden gate, how stiff it got when left untouched. Now she understood her body the same way. It needed care, gentle use, small motion every day. She stands up now and tries a few bends beside the window. Her reflection in the glass shows a quiet determination. Down, breathe in. Up, breathe out. Her knees feel steady. Her toes press into the floor, anchoring her body. She imagines the joints inside her legs, tiny gears turning, waking, warming. Each bend feels smoother than the last. The rain continues, steady and soft like a metronome. She matches her rhythm to the sound. Rain and breath, motion and thought. She feels her balance improve, her body remembering how to trust itself. It's strange, she thinks, how the smallest movements can teach so much. Not just about strength, but about patience. She realizes the science behind this isn't magic, it's nature. Her body is built to heal through motion, to stay young through consistency, not speed. The muscles around her knees work quietly, supporting the joint. The blood flows faster, carrying warmth. Even her posture feels different, taller, more alive. She laughs softly, a small sound in the quiet room. I guess you were right, Emma, she says to the air. She can almost hear her granddaughter's bright laugh in reply. Margaret places her hands on her knees and feels gratitude. For movement, for the chance to learn something new, even now. She finishes her last bend and stands still. Outside, the rain begins to fade, leaving the world fresh and bright. Inside, she feels the same. Renewed, light, connected. Her body isn't slowing down. It's remembering how to move again. And that, she thinks, is its own kind of science. That afternoon, Margaret decides to practice again. The rain has stopped, and sunlight pours gently through the kitchen window. The floor glows warm beneath her feet. She moves the chair aside and clears a little space. Her heart beats with a quiet excitement, the kind that comes before a small adventure. She remembers Emma's voice, calm and encouraging. Stand tall, Gran. Feet hip-width apart, keep your heels down. Margaret nods, whispering the steps to herself. Her hand rests lightly on the counter for balance. She straightens her back, feeling her spine align, her chest open. The air feels fresh, her mind clear. All right, she says softly, let's do this. She bends her knees slowly, just a little at first. Her heels stay firm on the floor, her toes pressing gently forward. The stretch moves through her ankles, steady and smooth. She breathes in deeply as she lowers herself. The air fills her lungs, and she feels her ribs expand. Then as she exhales, she rises slowly, feeling the power in her legs. It's a quiet rhythm, down and up, breathe and release. She counts softly. 1, 2, 3. Her knees creak a little, but they hold strong. The stiffness she once feared now feels like movement waking up. Each bend becomes easier, more natural. Her balance steadies with every repetition. She starts to find joy in the simplicity of it. No rush, no strain, no pressure to be perfect. Just her and her body, working together again. She tries holding the bend for a few seconds longer. Her thighs begin to warm, her calves hum with energy. She feels alive, connected from her knees to her toes. The name suddenly makes perfect sense. She laughs quietly, shaking her head. All this from one little movement, she whispers. After a few minutes, she pauses to rest. Her breathing is steady, her heartbeat calm. She feels light, almost proud. She decides to add a twist, literally. Emma once told her that variation keeps the body engaged. So this time, she bends and gently lifts her heels at the end. The shift feels good, strengthening her ankles too. Her balance wobbles, but she steadies herself with a hand on the counter. A small victory, but it feels big. The more she moves, the more confidence returns. Her fear of falling starts to fade. Her mind grows quiet, focused on each breath, each motion. It's no longer exercise. It's meditation in motion. Her body remembers strength not through force, but through trust. After 10 gentle bends, she straightens up fully and smiles. Her knees feel warm, flexible, and steady beneath her. She looks down at her legs, grateful. These knees have carried her through decades of life. Through laughter, travel, love, and loss. Now, they are learning to carry her into this new chapter. She whispers softly, "Thank you." And as she stands in the quiet kitchen, she realizes something beautiful. Strength doesn't always roar. It sometimes bends, breathes, and begins again. That evening, Margaret sits by the window, the world painted in sunset gold. The garden glows outside, soft light resting on the roses. She watches the petals move with the evening breeze. Her body feels different tonight, lighter, freer, almost joyful. It's strange how something so small could change so much. A few bends, a few breaths, and suddenly her day feels new. She never thought a stretch could carry emotion. But now, as she sits quietly, she feels something deep stirring inside. Not just strength, something gentler. Something like hope. For years, she believed aging meant slowing down. Each ache, each stiffness, felt like a closing door. But this simple movement is teaching her otherwise. It's not the end. It's an invitation to listen closer. To notice what her body is still capable of. She thinks of Emma again, that bright spark of encouragement. Movement is memory grant, Emma once said. When you move, your body remembers who it is. Margaret smiles at the thought. Maybe that's why she feels a familiar energy returning. Like finding a forgotten song she once loved. Her knees may not be perfect, but they are faithful. They bend when she asks. They carry her where she needs to go. She runs her fingers over the edge of her teacup and thinks back. The years when she used to dance in the kitchen. The times she'd run through the rain with her husband, laughing. The afternoons spent chasing Emma around the park. Every memory carried movement. Every joy was tied to motion. And now in her quiet home, she feels that thread reconnecting. She stands up and tries one more round of knee-to-toe bends. No video this time, no counting, no guidance. Just the rhythm of her own breath and the whisper of her heart. Down slow, up gentle. Her muscles hum softly. Her balance feels steady. She closes her eyes and moves through each bend like a prayer. Not asking for anything, just giving thanks. For the body that still moves. For the knees that still hold her. For the small, beautiful miracle of mobility. As she straightens, she feels a tear slip down her cheek. Not sadness, something sweeter. A quiet joy. She laughs softly to herself. If someone had told her last week that bending her knees could make her cry, she'd never believe it. But now she understands. Movement isn't just about muscles. It's about memory, resilience, and the soul's quiet will to keep going. She looks outside again. The last light fades from the sky, but she feels brighter inside. Her knees no longer ache, they speak. They tell her she's not done yet. She's still learning, still growing, still moving forward. Margaret breathes deeply, her heart calm and full. For the first time in years, she doesn't feel old. She just feels alive. The next week begins with sunlight and birdsong. Margaret wakes early, her room glowing with morning light. She stretches her arms, feeling her body respond with gentle warmth. The stiffness that once greeted her mornings is softer now. She moves her feet to the floor, steady and sure. Her knees no longer complain like they used to. They hum quietly, as if saying good morning. She smiles, grateful for the small change that feels so big. Her day starts the same as always: tea, toast, and the garden. But now, there's a new rhythm woven into her mornings. Before watering the roses, she takes a moment to move. Her small ritual, the knee-to-toe bend. It has become her quiet ceremony. She stands by the fence, breathes deeply, and begins. Down slow, feeling the stretch through her legs. Up smooth, finding balance in the rise. Her movements are calm, practiced, steady. The air smells like earth and flowers, grounding her senses. Each bend feels like a thank you to her body. A thank you for showing up, for healing, for remembering how to move. She counts softly under her breath. 1, 2, 3. Not as a chore, but as a rhythm of peace. The motion fits into her life as naturally as breathing. Sometimes she practices while waiting for the kettle to boil. Sometimes during her favorite radio show. Even in small moments, movement finds her. It's no longer an exercise, it's a habit of joy. And the more she moves, the more she notices small miracles. She can crouch to reach the bottom shelf now. She can step into the garden without gripping the doorframe. Even walking feels smoother, lighter, effortless. Her confidence has returned like sunlight after rain. Her friends notice it too. "You look different," they tell her. "You're glowing." She laughs and shrugs. "It's the bending, I suppose." They smile, not quite understanding. But Margaret knows it's not just bending. It's learning to trust her body again. Each small motion builds strength she can feel, not see. Each quiet moment reminds her she's capable. One morning, Emma visits again. Margaret shows her the new routine, graceful and sure. Emma beams. "Gran, you look amazing." Margaret chuckles. "It's funny, isn't it? Something so simple changed so much." Emma nods. "Simple things done often, that's the secret." The two of them move together, slow and easy. Their breaths match. Their laughter fills the garden air. It's more than a stretch now. It's connection. It's life shared through motion. When they finish, Margaret sits on the porch and looks at her knees. No longer a source of pain, but a symbol of persistence. She feels proud, strong, at peace. She whispers softly, "This is who I am now." And as the morning unfolds, she knows she'll keep moving. Not out of duty, but out of love. Because motion, she's learned, is another way of saying thank you. The sun sets quietly over the garden. Shadows stretch long across the grass, soft and golden. Margaret stands by the roses, the air cool against her skin. She moves one last time, slow and steady, knees bending with grace. Her breath flows in rhythm, calm and full of life. The world feels still, yet alive beneath her feet. Every bend carries memory now, of effort, patience, and hope. She thinks of how far she's come, how light her steps have become. Her knees no longer whisper pain but strength. She smiles, knowing this small habit changed more than her body. It changed her mornings, her mood, her way of seeing herself. Each movement became a quiet reminder she is still capable, still learning, still alive. As the sky deepens into twilight, she whispers softly, "Thank you." Thank you to her body. Thank you to time. Thank you to the simple power of moving forward. The garden hums with evening peace. Margaret turns toward the house, her steps sure and steady. One last thought crosses her mind before the night arrives. You don't stop moving because you grow old. You grow old because you stop moving.